Hey, just want to do a quick video of harvesting some oysters here. These are blue oysters, but only certain varieties stay kind of blue. Excuse me, the more they grow out, they do fade, and these ones just do not stay very blue. My fruiting room is not as cold as I'd like it to be either, but I'm trying to grow multiple species in there. Lion's mane, oysters, chestnuts, and the like. So anyway, most people just rip these off the block, but this particular blue oyster that I have likes to grow from the top. And so what I do is I just harvest the top, fold these over, tape it shut, and throw it back in the tent until it starts pushing pins up again, these little guys. And that'll open up the top and it'll fruit again. And after I do about 3 flushes of that, I will spray it with some water, seal it up again, and tape it good. And then I'll cut another new opening in one of these sides that seem to be the most covered in white mycelium. And then we'll cut an opening in that will dry out a little bit and hopefully force the fruits out. It doesn't always do it, but most of the time it's pretty successful. So what we're going to do here is start from the outside. I like to just shave it right off, lay them in. Get my that's where I'm going to put my scraps. All these little aborted mushrooms you can just peel off. They're usually pretty just soft and not good for much. Continue to cut it straight across the surface as best we can. And pull off the aborts. Get those in the tray. So these are very fast. Blue is typically grows super quick. So this is my second harvest. If I close this bag up again, let it kind of myceliate, cover all the wounds and everything. In another 7 days, this will start to push up pins again and give me more fruit. So that's why I like, if anybody's thinking about starting out in mycology, gourmets, and such, I recommend starting with a blue oyster, pretty much from anywhere. As they are fast. Spore and Sprout, I believe, is where this one came from. They're right here in Michigan. I like to stay as local as possible with all this stuff. I recommend you guys do the same, but yeah, feel free to hit them up, Spore and Sprout. I do trust their genetics. And there we go. Pull them off in nice, beautiful clusters. And at this point, I guess we can use this as an example. If we look across the top plane of the mushroom, you can see how this edge here still has a little bit of a curve down, but this edge here is flat. When oysters start to flatten out like this is when they're going to start their peak spore release, and also start to kind of thin out and become brittle. So that's when we like to get them just as this rim, this edge starts to flatten out. which we've done a pretty good job of here, I think. So we got the rest of the scraps cleaned up. Anything that might be loose, pop that off. Exposed sawdust. Try to avoid that as much as I can, but it doesn't really ruin anything. So once we've got that cleaned up, all we're going to do is fold this flap over, my old tape off, new piece of packing tape. Fold that over. Fold that over. Tie that up with tape. And that's it. Now this will go back in, recolonize, heal up, and it will fruit again. Do that with my other block that I harvested this morning. Some scraps out of here. Gold patch. And there we go. This is basically the same process you can do for any gourmet mushroom. Timing and such might vary, but for the most part, any oyster, chestnuts, it does start getting a little trickier when you get into maitakes and piopinos and shiitakes and such, but these type of mushrooms, they're all going to be the same. They all fruit pretty quickly and vigorously, as long as you keep the moisture content where it needs to be. Now we've got some lion's mane that can show you some interesting stuff here. So the lion's mane got too wet, and what I've learned is this is one that I made just from Spore. It's my number 4. It does not like being wet, and so it was in the direct flow of the downdraft from my mister, which was too much for it. So, and how I know that is because too much water or too little water, lion's mane would get brown. And right on top where my heavy mist was coming right down on top, they all kind of turned brown on top. And then the more downward facing they grow, the happier they get, because the bottom side is not as wet as the top where all that mist was falling down. So we're nice and firm here on the bottom ones. So these guys are just going to come right off. Okay. This stuff is all spongy. All this top stuff is very crab-like in structure, which is great if you're going to do, if you're going to dehydrate and do this for medicine, powder, capsules, or whatever. This is perfect for that. I'd keep the more tightly formed, firm ones for cooking. So these are great here. These are good specimens. The rest of it's going to be kind of loose. So we'll just cut some of that off. This bag has already fruited out this side, as you can see here. We've picked twice from this bag already, the top and the side that I just pulled from. A lot of times they like to fruit from the same spot. But this particular one, the only thing I don't like about this, my number 4, is it fruits from everywhere. It's not just the top, it's all around the sides. And if your room is set up properly, I think you could just take this whole thing out of the bag and just let it fruit like a shiitake from all the way around. But still just kind of playing around with it and learning how it wants to grow. So again, this was the bottom where we're nice and firm there. The rest of it's kind of iffy. So we just get off the iffy stuff. And you can see like all this excess moisture inside of lion's mane. It makes the tissue darker like that. So that's still really wet right there. So I'm going to get that off. Okay. This is what we really like to see with the number 4. All these tight nodes lumped together like a really tight formed cauliflower, as opposed to this looser grain. In fact, this is a little bit too loose for cooking. It's got to be in this pile. But that's basically it. Now this, ready to go. And not a whole lot left of this bag. I think all these bags I've topped instead of cutting because they all wanted to go from the top right away. So I think at this point we might just let it go. And we've harvested some off this block already right here. As you can see, we've got some that we can harvest here yet. So I think we might try to just scrap this guy. I don't know if it's worth fruiting him again or not. I think I will. We'll try to refruit this guy. Might put it in a new bag, but okay, so here's our scraps so far. All right, got some more here. Try not to destroy the substrate so that we can send it back in again without too much recovery time. What I'm going to do is get this bag sealed back up a little better. So, really all you're looking to do is kind of reseal this up back as best as you can to allow the CO2 to build up again a little bit. And to keep that moisture in, this guy here, so this, it's all just way too wet. Alright, so when this goes back in the tent, what we're going to end up doing, excuse me, is putting it on a different shelf. Seeing if we can get it away from that downdraft of my fogger there. Yeah, see, this is still just too loose. That's great for medicine, though. I've got so much dehydrated lion's mane, though, already. And this is still just me. I'm really just trying to play around with this number 4 and see if I want to continue with it or what. See how many times it'll fruit, see how it tolerates temperature fluctuations and stuff. So it's fun. Breeding things like that is fun. I mean, I'm doing this for my medicine and for my sanity. So it's just a lot. It's a lot of wounds in a bag to try and seal up here. So I think what we're going to do, because my room's so moist right now, we're just going to send it back in. In this bag here, my substrate was not wet enough. Thus, the entire center of this is not even colonized, as you can tell. It's kind of funny. Kind of funny, but this bag, this is just going to go in the trash for sure. Got a nice little lump here that we can harvest. And then this guy will just go outside into the compost. Yeah, got a nice lobe there. Get the rest of that off the bottom. All right. So it's a quick harvest, and that's what we ended up with. Cheers, y'all.